We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag We Gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where there isn't enough time. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you?
I am doing very well. How are you doing?
Great. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Gathering of the Geeks, and you'll find us there. What's up, Eric and Andrew? How's it going on this fine Sunday evening? Phil as well. How are you doing? Officially spooky season.
Yes.
Well, officially for those other people who started in
You
September
guys,
1st. Yeah.
the normies, welcome.
Yeah. I always like that normies thing. I always calling
great.
people normies. I
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't know why. It's fun. I think, didn't they use that in Wednesday a lot? They call people normies? Or am
Oh,
I just
shoot, I don't
imagining
remember
that?
now. I hope so. That would make it even better. Just like a bunch of normies.
Well, it fits with the tone of the show, and it's a
Sure.
school of I don't know, supernatural
Mm-hmm.
misfits. I forgot what they were. I don't
I don't
remember.
know, monsters, freaks.
I don't remember when that show came out. Actually,
Yeah, it feels like it was 3 years ago.
it feels like everything is 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It really does. Hey, Ian. Oh, it's also Ian's birthday. So Ian has a spooky birthday.
Ooh, how close to spooky is it, Ian? I think it's. Wonder if it's right on the Halloween or close to. My daughter's is in 8 days, so
That's pretty close.
on Thanksgiving weekend up here for us. So it's always a thing.
Thanksgiving and birthday times.
Mm-hmm.
And spooky.
Yes, exactly.
Chris shaved his face, Emmett shaved his head.
Thanks for noticing, Andrew. Yeah, thanks for. Yeah, it's funny. Speaking of spooky season and my daughter, she's got a big plan that she wants to watch a horror movie for every day.
I like her style.
Oh man, she wanted to watch one tonight, and I'm like, we can't watch that. I want to watch that too. You can't watch that. I want to watch that one too. So, and then she's like, oh, I guess I'll watch The Ring then. It's like, that's fine. I don't need to watch The Ring.
Yeah, no. Which version of the ring?
I have no idea. It didn't really matter to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is really the only night where I can't really watch anything. All my other nights are pretty much free. So I think we're gonna watch It 1 and then Chapter 2 the next day. So I'm already looking forward to that. This impromptu kind of watch, because most of the time I would just kind of watch a horror movie as it goes, but I've never really had a set plan to watch things. What about you? How do you handle your spooky season watches?
Well, first, I like that you're embracing the season. I really that warms my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of I the last few years I picked a franchise and just kind of went through it all. And I've been trying to think of a franchise I want to do that with this year. I don't think I'm going to. I actually think I'm just going to watch a variety of stuff, just because I can't decide. I was even thinking, well, I'll just do all the Hammer Dracula movies, but they're kind of impossible to find, and some of them are absolutely terrible. Like,
oh, really?
Alert, one, he dies in a rose bush.
Because it cuts him? You mean like the wood?
No, he gets stuck.
Yeah.
It's literally what happens. He gets stuck.
No, he gets stuck.
It's terrible. Ian said his birthday's on the 15th.
Ah, there you go.
So I'm probably just gonna watch random stuff. Like I did my annual Monster Squad rewatch, which at this point it's funny because as many times I've seen the movie, whenever I watch it, I still kind of find new things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're weird things, sometimes it's fun things, which I'll get to in a little bit. I know tonight or in the next couple days, I'm finally going to sit down to watch Cobweb. I've been talking about it for months. I'm going to get to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's one that I was kept looking for newer ones to watch.
Yeah.
So that's one that I wanted to get to. Yeah.
That one's at the top of my list. I want to get to Terrifier 1 and 2.
Oh, that weird clown thing.
Yeah, I think I need that in my life. I like weird clowns, I guess.
Indeed, you do.
I do. So yeah, I just kind of this year it's just whatever I want to watch, I'm gonna do
it. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no set rhythm this year, unless I do happen to find all the Hammer films in one spot, which is not.
I was gonna say where would you find that though?
Nowhere.
Like, is there a specific thing or? They just
No,
like,
they're kind of like forgotten because
yeah.
most of the popular ones are the Christopher Lee Dracula films, and then
Hmm.
you also have some other ones like they have Phantom of the Opera. They have a bunch of schlocky exploitation things. Like,
Schlocky. That's another
yeah,
good word. Normies and schlockies. You're doing good so far.
the 70s was a weird time for Hammer. Very schlocky. If you could describe it in a word, that's what I would use. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, there's not really a spot to get them because they're kind of forgotten. Max here, I think last year did have Horror of Dracula, but that was it.
Mm.
They didn't have any of the other stuff.
Like Ian's
Universal is king.
comment. Yeah, well, always. As we hopefully we see with the upcoming comic that's coming out in the next little while too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited
That
for that.
Dracula comic. What do you think about Ian's comment there that he's got after this one? If you want, whatever.
Oh yeah. Phil loves rediscovering things in movies. I do too. It kind of adds when you love the movie, it's like a little bit extra thing.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I prefer watching Halloween movies instead of actual horrors." What do you mean by like the Michael Myers films, or do you mean like movies centered around Halloween?
I had
Like
wondered
there's
if
like
he
Trick or
meant,
Treat.
yeah. I wondered if he meant that, like just the holiday.
I
I
don't know
think
if
that's an
there's
interesting thing.
too many like actual holiday
Hmm.
movies. Horror seems to be anytime like these movies are set during any time of the year. But
Right.
like specific,
That's true.
I could think of Trick or Treat, Halloween, of course,
Mm-hmm.
um, Halloween Town. I just found
Yeah.
that.
Hocus
Oh,
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, one and
Mm-hmm.
two. Yeah, is Terrifier on Halloween? It looks like it would be.
Mm.
Andrew says my fetish is weird clowns. You know, I also like killer clowns from outer space.
Yes,
So,
you
and I
do.
watched that when I was a child. So we may be onto something here.
Mm.
They're fun. Halloween themed movies, for example. I know here's a big. Oh, yeah, Night Before Christmas. But is this
Mm.
a Christmas watch for Halloween? I actually watch it more like in November.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to me that's like a middle thing.
My kids just watched that one just yesterday.
Yeah, it's. I
Yeah,
think it's a good anytime watch, but for me, like
I
if I'm gonna
agree.
watch it during the season, it's usually in the middle of
Hmm.
it because I think
Hmm.
it works for both.
I
And it's
love
just a
that
good
movie so
time.
much.
Yeah, it's a great time. And it's
Yeah.
funny when it came out, like people didn't know what to do with it
Yeah.
because is it Halloween? Is it Christmas? This is
Christmas.
grotesque.
Yeah. I
Like
was
I
gonna say
remember,
that's a conversation unto itself. Is it a
yeah.
which holiday is it?
Which holiday is it? And just it's fun to talk about the reception that it received back then.
Hmm.
I was a
Hmm.
child, so I don't remember it, but I do remember like my parents talking about like, why was it this way? Why was it like
Hmm.
this? Why did they take Santa Claus?
Poor Santa.
Right. And I was like, this is amazing. Give me a Oogie
Hmm.
Boogie action figure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, exactly. I love that Oogie Boogie.
he's cool. He says, for me, I'm sorry, Phil says, for me, Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas watch. Is E.T. a Halloween movie? I don't consider it a Halloween movie, but that's just me.
Hmm.
I consider it a great movie that I just discovered.
Yeah, that's right.
The title of the live stream doesn't give you enough time to answer the question.
You see, Andrew. You see what I was going for.
Now I'm imagining E.T. meet It movie. Oh, that poor E.T.
Poor ET.
He doesn't have a name, so just that poor E.T.
Poor ET.
Pennywise is gonna pull a Georgie on him. Although I don't, I think
He'd be a
E.T. is
sucker too.
smarter. I'm saying he's
I
smarter.
wonder about that. Is ET
There's no
smarter
Reese's
than Georgie?
Pieces.
Yeah, that's true. What about if he did have Reese's Pieces?
I'm
Whatever it was
sorry,
Reese's
E.T.
Pieces that went down that drain instead of the boat.
You will float. That's where ET does. ET float home. That's what happens.
I like that. Is ET smarter than Georgie?
I think we're gonna have to throw that on the Twitter.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a poll, a spooky season poll. Will ET float home or won't he?
That makes me funny. That's so
What about Mary Poppins and it? I think Mary would actually kill Pennywise somehow, especially if you do the ultimate crossover where you get the original and the Emily Blunt version to like team up. I think you're onto something with that. And Dick Van
I've never
Dyke is
seen
still
either of
alive,
them.
so
Mm-hmm. I've never seen either of the Mary Poppins movies.
I saw the first one not by choice. They just kind of threw it on, and I was there. It's not for me.
That's fair.
We're gonna use Eddie's one Sasha comment of the night here.
Okay,
Sasha hates Terrifier.
Use it and get it out of the way early, okay?
Well, we'll see what else he's got.
All right, Chris, what'd you get up to this week? You said you caught up on some things. You read some things. You watched some things. What'd you get up to?
I actually read a lot of stuff this week.
Mm-hmm.
After going, I think it was really the whole month without reading a single book.
I was going to say, we had a couple rough shows there for talking about stuff that we read.
Yeah, it was a rough month for comics. No, but I read a lot of stuff, including, and I'm proud of myself for this, a 127-page book. So,
oh, boy.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I'm trying to remember it all. I read Wolverine versus Predator, #1, which, if you guys know, I've been kind of waiting for this. And it was actually really cool. But what stood out to me is it has a story. I didn't expect a story. I thought it was just going to be, let's just drop these two characters in a jungle and let them fight each other. And
it really, I was great, by the way.
Right, I was on board. Like, yes, we can do that. I don't even care if they speak to each other. Not that the Predator speaks, but I don't even care if they do that. Just let them fight for 32 pages, and I'm thrilled. But no, it has a story, and it's a really cool story. It actually spans years. And each era in it has a different artist, which I don't like, but that's fine.
Right.
It's just jarring to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just a little bit jarring. But I like the way that it goes through. So it starts kind of when I would say Wolverine would technically be early 20s. That's the start of when... Well, that's the start of the book. The start of the book is the present time. But it flashes all the way back to when Wolverine is in his early 20s, and then it just jumps again to like the Alpha Flight stuff or the export stuff.
What happens back in the 20s with what's Wolverine up to there? He's hanging out in Canada, or?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out doing his thing. And they meet for the first time, and it's pretty glorious.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so that was a highlight for me. I'm not even sure which week it came out, but it was good.
I think that was a couple weeks ago.
Was it? I don't remember
correctly. Yeah.
It's written by Benjamin Percy, who I think is just a wonderful Wolverine writer.
I was going to say, he's like, when you think of Wolverine, he's one of the writers you would think about with them, right?
He really has become that. I think he's got a great handle on the character, and he gives them a really nice voice. And it feels like Wolverine. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel. This is Wolverine.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm basically in for anything Benjamin Percy does with Wolverine. And this is also out of the Krakoa stuff, which I'm still not participating in.
Not participating in?
I'm not participating in that. I refuse.
I like that. That's funny.
Oh, okay. So Eric's comment just completely threw me off. Does Wolverine say to the Predator? I can't even say this because we're going to get that rating.
Say what?
But no, he doesn't. I wish he did, though. Maybe he'll get to it, though.
That would be good.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Phil says, like Die Hard, I know I'll get flack for it, but I don't consider an act. Oh, we got a lot of flack for that already. I don't think we can.
Well, we gotta. Yeah, we're moving past that. We can't start that. It's too early. It's too early.
It will go on until the new year. But that was a highlight for me. I read Gargoyle of Gotham. And the tone's going to shift.
I was waiting for you to read this so badly, just because I knew what was going to happen after you read it.
Yeah. I mean, you know how much I was waiting for this book. I was so excited. I love the art that we were seeing. I love the idea of it. Then I read it. I don't even think I want to read the second volume.
No,
I don't even like the art anymore. Really, I think it just that book just killed the entire excitement I had for it. The only thing I do appreciate about it and like is the idea that he wants to kill Batman. Bruce wants to make Bruce Wayne publicly dead. That's not a spoiler, by the way. That's kind of the only thing I like about it. And that's not enough to get me to read more of it. It's essentially if Frank Miller wrote the Batman.
It's exactly what it is. And that's how I described it to you. I'm like, it's going to be a lot like Frank. It's a lot like Frank Miller. You prepare yourself.
I thought I was ready. I thought I was like, yes, I can handle this. And then I read it, and it was a chore for me to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And the art, like even the bat suit, like I said, I don't even like it anymore.
No.
I don't like the bulb head that he's got. I don't like the weird neck area anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They did have a cool thing with Gordon in the office,
Yeah.
but yeah, did not enjoy Gargle of Gotham. Very disappointed.
I didn't mind the villain in it, but like within the first couple of pages, I got the sense of the theme for this Batman with the mature nature of some of this stuff that we were shown right away. Um, and that's not what I want to read in a Batman. So I don't even know if it's not good. I don't. I think it's good. I think the book is.
Sure.
I think it's written well. I think the art is good. I don't like that style of art,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't like the tone of this Batman story. I don't like this world that Batman lives in, where
No.
there's violence, this type of violence, and sexual assault and physical assault towards women. And I don't like it's like quick imagery. Like it's not even that much, but it's just right away. It's like, okay, I don't need to read more of that stuff.
No, and I could take a darker story. I don't mind darker stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
You want to show
Mm-hmm.
Gotham as a hellhole? Cool, I'm for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The way they do it here with the way Batman is
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work for me. And the villain, I don't even know what to do, where to go with this one. He cries and he tries to murder you. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not for me. Eric says, "Let me guess, not even year one Frank Miller Batman." No, this is definitely Dark Knight Returns. I'm gonna punch you in the face and break my own fist while I do it, and then get mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of Batman.
Yeah. There's something about year one where it doesn't feel like it's a Frank Miller story. Like it's more of a classic Batman. Like there is the prostitute stuff with the like Selena Kyle and
But it's
that kind of stuff. Sure, but there's just something about this and where it's like this is like Sin City. This feels like Sin City Batman.
Oh,
to me.
okay, sure.
Like
Yeah, like they drop him in Sin
it
City.
feels like Batman's in Sin City for some reason. No, he's not. No, he doesn't need to be. Get him out of there.
No, let's do something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Grabs it.
Hi, Grabs.
I read some other stuff. Night Fever, which is what you sent me from Brubaker and Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
I adored this book.
Okay.
Like I really love this. This was fantastic. And I know it's over 100 pages, but it did not feel like it. I didn't even want to put it down. I had to do it in 2 sittings because I got sidetracked, but I could have read this in 1 sitting without breaking a sweat. It was so good. For those of you guys who don't know, it's about a literary agent who has to go overseas on a trip to try to sell some books, essentially at a convention, and he gets tangled into the nightlife of I think it was Paris, right?
Yeah, France. Yeah.
He gets tangled into the nightlife. He meets a new friend, and chaos ensues. It's really entertaining. It's kind of like a mystery. It's very noir. The art is beautiful. The main character looks like Jim Gordon, so I was automatically in for that. Well written. If you like Brubaker stuff, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got around to reading it. I bought it physically, but I had it in my hold box at my comic shop for the longest time, felt like 2 months. And then I finally got it shipped. And I read it, and I think I talked to you about it, and you read it. So, yeah, I agree. I've always had this thought, even when talking about Lemire books, how greatness becomes boring to me sometimes. Like, oh, there's another good book. It's another good book. It's another good book. And I was worried that was happening with Brubaker and Phillips because of the Reckless series that they were doing, which is they just did like every 4 or 3 months they'd release a story. But then with Night Fever, that breaks up their trend of the same kind of story. So it feels like something different, even though it is in the same kind of line, noir, crime-ish. But I just love that they can do different types of things. And even with the art being the same artist, and I think Sean Phillips is the penciler, and his son Jacob Phillips does the colors.
Mm.
Even with that, it's very different. They're very different looking books, color wise, especially because of the mood that it's in, because of the location that they're in. Like in the Reckless series, it takes place in California, so everything's all bright and colorful, and sandy beaches and all that bullshit. But like France,
All
and
that bullshit.
all that bullshit
That
in
sunshine
California.
and shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's just something different about this Night Fever book and how it looks, and I love how the colors really pop off the page.
I do too.
Compared to like the dark streets, the dark alleyways, but then the lights and the neon. I love the way the book looks for sure.
Yeah, very, very pretty. Did not expect that. I expected a good story, but then the art really, like, it's such a perfect complement. Because a lot of times you read a story and like, okay, the story's good, the art's okay, I'll deal with it. But in this case, both things are just top notch. So Night Fever was awesome. The last thing I want to talk about, because I realized last week I never shut up, and I'm sorry. So
no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Trust me.
I'm going to run through this one quickly. I was watching our friends Lost in Comics this week, and our buddy Chris mentioned a book called Rumpus Room Number 1. Now, whenever I watch Lost in Comics, one of my favorite things about them is that they'll find a book I've never heard of, and I'll get interested, and I'll go check it out myself. This was one of those times. So what Rumpus Room is about, and I'm going to explain this the best way I can without spoiling it, because I think the twist is not well known. I should have looked this up, but I didn't. It's about a billionaire who's essentially he's collecting people, and he keeps them in like a prison underneath his mansion.
Now, listen, you're just making stuff up now.
No. And so the guards of the underground prison wear animal costumes. The prison is called the Rumpus Room. I believe that's what the Rumpus Room is.
I was going to say, this doesn't sound very fun.
Oh, it is, though. It is.
Rumpus Room. Jeez.
Rumpus Room, yes.
Right.
I don't know how much to say without spoiling it, but it's really well written. The art is nice. It has like kind of like I think it's horror themed, because you have to keep reading to understand what's going on, and then when you get the twist, it's interesting. You don't see it coming really, and it's kind of gruesome.
So you didn't know about this, this wasn't one of your, oh, this cover looks good, I'll check this one out. This is all based on just based on a recommendation from Chris from Lost in Comics.
I heard Chris talking about it, and I had to read it.
All right, was it his top 3? Oh wow!
I think it actually was his number 1.
Oh wow!
Grabs was there. I don't know if Grabs remembers. I think it was number 1.
Oh, maybe I'll have to check it out. Rumpus Room.
Rumpus Room. Yeah, I think that it is a special title.
So this kind of a little bit of a tangent for me about horror movies. We were talking about horror comics. Like, do you feel the
it sounded really odd.
Do you have the need or the want to read more horror comics during this time of the year? Like, I remember when we were talking about what's that? The one about the serial killers and the Where Monsters Lie.
Oh yeah.
That feels like I wanted to read that at this time of year. I just read Witches today from Scott Snyder and Jock. Do you have that same kind of thing where you want to read horror comics as well, or just want to watch horror stuff?
Yeah, no, I prefer to watch horror stuff, but I will, if something comes across that I like the that book that I know we're both going to read this week, The Devil That Wears My Face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looks fun. It's a possession book, which possession seems to be all the rage right now. So, and I realistically, I'd rather have that in book form than in visual form.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Possession films might be where I draw the line. I don't know.
Really?
Maybe. I'm going to see Exorcist Believer this week. Spoiler again, but I'm going to see it this week. We'll see.
Yeah, that is true about Possession. I wonder if it is back in because of The Exorcist. And what's in it? I guess because Talk to Me. It's another kind of a possession.
Possession.
I
feel like there was another one recently.
What the hell? I can't remember. That's usually not one I think about when I think about horror movies. Is Possession. That's not one I usually often think about.
There's a lot of them though. They're just not
Mm-hmm.
very popular. Also,
Yeah.
the subject matter is, I mean, of course, it's dark, so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of goes darker than most movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Exorcist Believer, I think I can talk about it now. Is very very dark because of, I mean, it's children, and it's not just one this time; it's two. So it's pretty dark.
Yeah, that is that out now or is that out this week?
Friday,
Oh, it's out this Friday.
every
Okay.
Friday. Friday is the version. Yeah.
No.
Grab says he's talking about Rumpus Room.
Mm-hmm.
Chris described it like he was talking about disarming a nuclear weapon. At the end, I had no idea what it was about. The Pope's Exorcist. There you go. That's the other one.
Oh, that's the one with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see that.
Oh
like
yeah, I'd forgotten about that one. That'll be
Mhm.
something. That came out this year or was that
Yeah,
out last year?
it came out, I believe, the same week as Renfield.
Oh,
So that's why I didn't see it. My attention was elsewhere.
yeah. I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah, It
check that one out
Follows.
for sure.
That's another Possession movie.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, Possession is all the rage.
It's all
Possession
the
and
rage.
Rumpus Room. Or Rumpus.
Apparently so.
It's Rumpus.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's the bulk of what I read. The good stuff that I read, I wanted to talk about.
I didn't read anything new this week aside from Batman Brave and the Bold, and I really only read it because of Tom King and Mitch Garrett's story. It's a funky one. I think we'll talk about it next week, though, because you haven't read the entire thing yet. And there's something in that story that I found completely bizarre,
Okay.
but not in a good way. So I think we'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
Yeah. What? Other than that, I read Night Fever. I read 8 Billion Genies. So finally, I got my hardcover of that this past week, and I remember, if I remember correctly, I only read the first 2 issues of that. So I finally read the whole thing. Yeah, so I'm glad that I finished that. And I think they're making a TV show out of it, if I remember that correctly as well.
I feel like everything's getting
somewhere.
a TV show.
Yeah, everyone's getting a TV show. Well, that made me think about The Witches today when I was reading that, and I remember Scott Snyder posting or putting out a tweet the other day when the writer's strike ended that he was going back to work on writing The Witches, making that into a TV show. And I read it today, The Witches, or Witches, and I think it's definitely the scariest comic book that I've read. And I was trying to think about it as a TV show, and it's going to be if they make it exactly the same, and I guess if Scott Snyder's writing the TV show, then it'll be pretty close. It's going to be pretty heavy. For a lot of different reasons. For family reasons, there's a young girl in it. The main character, I guess, is a young girl, and she's probably about the same age as my daughter. So that's always tough for me when I watch things and there's kids in the same age as my own kids in it. But it's gruesome. Jock's art, on a good day, is gruesome when he's drawing Batman. But when he's drawing witches and blood and guts and gore and weird other things, it's just like I had forgotten. Like the trade that I have, I bought it. It was one of my first buys when I really started collecting comics again. Mostly because I saw it was by Scott Snyder, and I was just getting done or getting around, reading his Batman run and reading American Vampire. But man, it's so freaking scary, and I'm glad I read it in the middle of the day. It was a nice sunny day here today, so I didn't have to read it at nighttime and look out my dark window when I get up to go to the washroom or something in the middle of the night and be scared out of my pants or whatever. So, but yeah, so I'm going to try and read a little bit of horror comics here and there. I think it'll be too hard to read one every day, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to try and read some more. I haven't read Gideon Falls in a little while from Lemire. I'm gonna have to look to see what else I have behind me. And I guess I'm going to try and find Rumpus Room as well. Yeah, so that's
your reaction to it.
Yeah, I think that's all we need is just a reaction to whatever that comic book is.
It's good. That's what it is.
So I did get around to watching 2 things that you had mentioned last week.
Okay.
No One Will Save You and Talk to Me. And I don't remember if you gave much of reviews for either of those at the time. I think because I hadn't watched them, I think you just kind of brushed over them a little bit. So why don't you just talk with No One Will Save Me or you. No one will save you.
No one will save either one of us at the end of it. So
Yeah, I can't remember if it's me or you. I had a great time with the movie. It's confusing as heck by the end of it a little bit, but I think that's a good thing.
mhm,
I thought the aliens were freaky and cool. I thought the idea of it was original,
mhm.
very different from. I compared it to Nope a little bit, where it's a different kind of
Yeah,
alien invasion story, that kind of thing. So I had a great time with it. I'm glad I did see it, and it's I like movies that you have to think about a little bit, but hopefully not too much. It hurt my head. But yeah, so what do you think about No One Will Save Me or You? I can't remember.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really,
Mm-hmm.
really captivating. I was all the
Hmm.
way through. I didn't really care for the third act as much because it did get a
Hmm.
little bit. I think wonky is the word I would use.
Mm-hmm.
She was basically John Wick versus aliens.
Yeah, she was pretty tough.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand how that was possible, why that was possible. But
Mm.
the movie moved so fast. I didn't. You don't really have time to question it too much.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever, keep going. And then I
Mm-hmm.
really love the ending of it. I know the ending has been very divisive among people.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ending was cool. Um, I don't know if we can talk spoilers because it's been out a little bit for a little bit, but what it was been
Yeah.
2 weeks. But the way it ends, I thought was really clever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's also kind of an interesting commentary, and we're gonna get all that now. But it's the world is essentially ending, but she's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like life is
Mm-hmm.
great for her, but the world
Right.
has gone to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. I thought that was great. You know, yeah, I've said it before. I like horror movies that don't end where you have like a pep in your step afterward. You don't have that here.
Yeah.
At first, you're like, oh, that's nice. Then you realize what's happened. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nice. So
Well, it's interesting because they do that kind of twice in the movie too, where there's a kind of a dream sequence a little bit,
mhm.
where she wakes up and you're like, oh, was it a whole dream and then something different, and then by the end of it, you actually think that again. You're like, oh, well, what is real and what did actually
Yeah, it
happen?
kind of questions it.
So I like a I don't know, a double ending or something like that. I thought that was quite good. And I like the mystery of the story, how it played out through the entirety
I
of
do
the
too.
movie as
I
well.
like that we didn't
What
know
happened to
everything.
her? Exactly. Yeah. What happened to
Mhm.
her and what happened to her friend?
Oh,
Because when you see her, yeah.
I was saying the reveal of the timeline. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And like when she goes to town and she bumps into the cop and the wife spits in her face. You're like, whoa, what's happening here? Um, so I like that kind of stuff. That there was a little bit more to it than just straight up aliens coming down. Like there's something happened with her.
Mhm.
It happened with her mom and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed that aspect to it.
Ian has a great question because I was thinking about this myself. Why did the alien fall off the house?
So that was when it was big, right? It was like one of the
Yeah,
bigger spider looking ones.
it just fell off the
Um,
house.
yes, it screamed or something. Like it
I
did one of
don't
its. Was it doing its hand signal things at the moment?
know. It was like climbing the house for like a big reveal moment. Like I thought it was about to like jump and eat her or something,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
just kind of fell over.
Hmm.
It was a weird thing. Like that's why like they didn't explain if the aliens had any weaknesses or allergies the way like
Hmm.
science did. So we
That's what
don't
I was
know.
thinking about too. If they were going to be, yeah,
Yeah, I
easy
have
to
no idea.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But that is an odd thing for me too. I agree with Ian there. I know he didn't
Hmm.
like that part.
No, because I think he mentioned that last week,
Yeah, he didn't like it at
if
all.
I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah. So I had a good time with that. And maybe I can't remember her name. What's her name now? The main actress.
Kristen,
No, Caitlin.
Caitlin
Caitlin Devers.
Devers, yeah,
Devers, yeah. So for
or
the
Dever.
longest time, she was the fan cast for Ellie in The Last of Us.
Really?
Did you
Okay.
see? Did you see that, Chris? I don't know
No.
if you've seen anything with her before. Like the only other thing
Oh,
I've
I
seen
know
her
from
with,
Justified.
yeah. So I know her from that and Booksmart as well.
Yes, but
Yeah. So what do
Justified
you
is
think
normally where
about?
my mind goes.
Do you think she'd be a good Ellie or no?
I don't. I kind of like who we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty partial because that's the version I know.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I
Sure.
didn't have any preconceived. Well, this should be. You know what I mean? So to
Yep.
me, the actress that we have is Ellie.
Yeah, fair.
And to me, like Caitlin Deaver, I see her like as a foul mouthed. I want to say country girl because of
Mm-hmm.
Justified.
Yeah.
So more roles like that is probably what I would think of her as. But on the same token, if she shows up like in a comic movie as Barbara Gordon, that'd be cool.
Mm. Yeah, I really appreciated her acting, or like she didn't have much visual or vocal stuff to do, but I really thought she pushed the emotion a lot
Oh yeah, without speaking, yeah.
in her role. I thought she really did a really well good job. Yeah.
I wanted to cover this. Grab says
Mm-hmm.
about 85% done with this sim. I can't pronounce this. The Lord of the Rings, but it's definitely worth the read. I imagine it'll make reading the Lord of the Rings even more awesome. I thought
Mm.
are you going to read them again, Grabs? Because you just listened to them, so you're going to read them now, or are you going to do the audio thing again?
Mm-hmm.
Is this true? No One Will Save You is about a powerful alien race that has traversed galaxies to find someone who didn't get good at killing but was born good.
To find someone who didn't get good at killing. I don't think that's their goal. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think
think
their
that was the goal
goal
either.
was to. Yeah, I think
Bryn is the perfect natural killer seeking to learn from her gifts. They recreate all of Earth to honor the killer queen. Because Earth is a stepping stone to a. Where are you getting this? I
he's
don't
got
think that.
quotations like he is, like he's copying and pasting it from
Yeah,
somewhere.
I don't know about that. I didn't get that at all. I just saw it as
No,
the alien said, "This girl has been through enough. We don't want it."
yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, that was my thing too. They were when they got into her house and her room and everything. They were examining pictures, and when they probed her or whatever in the spaceship, they realized who she was and what she went through.
yeah.
Um,
I mean
and
that.
I wonder about the killer queen aspect to it, because I wonder how pocketed this is. Like, are they all doing that? Like, are the aliens on anywhere else? Are they doing the same thing where they pick somebody up and they saying, "Oh, this person's good," and then giving them their all their dreams come true as well, or is it just Bryn who's earned this right?
I kind of assumed it was just because she was already damaged, and they just maybe they saw like a kindred with her. I don't know,
Sure.
but I don't agree with it. He says from the Polygon review. I do not agree with the Polygon review. That's their
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
opinion. That's cool.
Hmm.
That's not my take.
Definitely
Um,
not.
Eric rewatched The Exorcist and watched the original Halloween for the first time this weekend. That is a
First
good.
time. What are you, Chris?
I've seen
Watching things for the
Halloween.
first time? The most popular horror movie of all time?
I have seen Halloween many times.
Yes, I know that.
And I've seen The Exorcist once, and that was enough. Grabs
Just
will be
once, eh?
reading them again. Yeah, just once. I saw it when they re-released it in theaters, like 20. What was that? 20 years ago now.
I noticed. I saw today that they were doing, or maybe it was yesterday, a big 4K release for The Exorcist. I saw that coming, obviously, because I guess um, the new
Believer, yeah.
movie.
They want to
Mhm.
capitalize on that. What did you think of Talk to Me?
I liked it a lot.
Okay, cool.
Aside from one moment, can you guess which moment that was?
The ending?
No, the dog.
That was just a friendly dog.
No, yeah. No, okay, listen. Okay, so much like Ian mentioned how that alien falling off the roof, him and his wife just thought it laughed because it was so made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the dog made sense, but it didn't need to. Maybe they were just trying to add levity to it, but I just thought that was the strangest thing. And
Oh, it
I
was.
like, and I was watching this one with my daughter, and she was just like, "What is happening?" um, other than that, I thought it was great. I thought um, it's the movie's basically about addiction, so and doing drugs. So I like the scene where they're like the party scene where they're all doing it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was shot really well. It reminded me of like Quick Shots and Requiem for a Dream, kind of not as
Mm-hmm.
extreme, but I like that. Yeah, so I really dug the idea of addiction and how cool drugs can be when you're doing the drugs, and then how when you're not doing the drugs, all you do is want drugs.
Do
But
we
then
need
when
to have
you're
a
on
sit
those
down
drugs,
about this?
but then when you're doing those drugs that you think are so cool, how much those drugs are affecting everything in your life, your friends, your body. So I really like that idea of it, this kind of like secondary meaning
Mhm.
of what it is. I thought the ending was incredible, a
Yes.
literal like, and how it ended like very quickly. As soon as you see the very quick reveal of what is happening, I thought it was great. I like that idea to it where it didn't drag on.
No, it's very
Like
quick.
we finished the movie and my daughter was like, "Was that movie an hour long?" I'm like, "No, it was an hour and a half." It just moved incredibly quick and didn't overstay its welcome, I don't think.
Bring
Um,
back the 90-minute movies.
yeah, like if Zeddy's in the comments, the 90-minute movie, that's his jam. So yeah, I had a great time with it. I thought the visuals were really good, very creepy for sure.
Run,
Like,
run,
like
run.
the, yeah, aside from the like the dog thing is pretty stupid, but then the other kissing scene, like it's just like, oh my god. Again, another original-ish type of movie. Like we've been talking
Mhm.
about possession a lot. We've seen like different kind of monkey's fist kind of thing where this is not. It's not really that.
It's
But
more like
this
a
is like,
Ouija board in the form of a hand.
yeah, exactly. That's why I was thinking about the monkey fist because I feel like this, like, and that's the kind of thing. There could be sequels to this,
There
like
is. There's
where did
it's
the
about
hand
a
come
hand thing.
from, all that kind of thing.
Also,
Um,
there's two hands.
Sure, there is. There could be 600 hands. I don't
Well,
care.
no, no. Specifically, there's two hands.
Okay,
They
fine.
mentioned that there's two.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I had a great time with it. I thought it was really, really original, and yeah, one of the surprising things about me was the idea of the Australian um, like movie.
Hmm.
Like when you think about it, like you think about it. No, there's American movies and there's foreign language films, but then to have like an entire cast that from Australia, and I, it's just kind of a like I don't know why that shook me or anything, but I thought that was just kind of an interesting idea
We don't
about it.
normally see Australian stuff
Yeah, that's exactly. I thought that was kind of interesting that way.
because, like, I was thinking about it too. There's this, and the only other, like, I think the only other like purely Australian production I've seen is that Sam Reed show, The Newsreader.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't think of another Australian like movie or something I've seen. So yeah, I thought about
Hmm.
that too.
Hmm.
Grabs on roller skating today. I'm cooler than most 48-year-olds. Just saying. I would try roller skating, but I'll probably injure myself. So you are cooler than me. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can roller skate anymore. I used to when I was a kid, but
Oh really? No, I don't. I
hmm
never tried it. I could ride a bike, but I think it's pretty simple
hmm
for most people. Again, I loved Talk to Me as it makes you understand lead actor's actions, but also makes you hate her. So how it ends is
mm,
perfect. Agreed. I also love. Now we can talk about it. The ambiguous nature of the ending, because while we know what happened, like the end game of it,
right.
they play how it happened completely vague. We don't
Sure.
know. Was she pushed? Did she jump? We don't know.
And the hints too, like they don't really give you a lot of hints that because you're doing the thing with the hand that somehow you can end up on the other side of it. Like they
Yeah,
don't
you
they
don't
don't
know.
really give you that tease, which I thought was nice.
So, Eric says they literally asked the ghost to talk to the hand. Got it. Technically, they say talk to me, but yes.
Talk to me. Yeah.
Hey, Ma, look, no hand. It's like riding a bicycle, but completely different. So you're saying it's close.
I was gonna say, so you're saying there's a
Sasha
chance.
taught me how to. Damn it, Eddie. Sasha taught me how to roller skate.
Hey, I said one per show.
I suck it in. Yeah, Talk to Me. I think it's going to be in my horror movie rotation. I really like a lot.
Mm,
I'm looking forward to the sequels that I know are coming because there are
hmm.
the two hands.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
I think there was a post credit scene. Was it a post credit scene?
No, my daughter was pissed that there wasn't because of how quickly it ended and how confusing it was.
I could have sworn that extra thing was a post credit scene.
Yeah, we watched right till the end
So you
because that's
saw
good.
the. Okay, I guess it was part of the movie. Then when you see her pop up again.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it was a post credit for some reason. But anyway, yeah, the speculation is that's the other hand.
Mm,
Sure. Cool stuff.
very
Yeah, I love
interesting.
Talk to Me. Very good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that I watched it. I wonder about the rotation thing. I'd probably do the same with the easy watchability of it,
Mhm.
and like you said, the franchising nature of it. Um, yeah, yeah. I wonder how far you'd go into wanting to know more about it, though.
I
You
would
know,
not. I like.
yeah,
I wouldn't want an origin of the thing. I just want to see the story keep moving forward.
because I think if they with the way they described the hand was like, oh, a friend of a friend gave it to me, or my
Yeah,
cousin's
something like
friend of
that.
a friend, or something like that. Like, I don't want to see the friend of the friend. I don't want to see some archaeologist digging this thing up in, somewhere in the 1800s or something like that. I just I like the idea of it being ambiguous like that.
Yeah, I don't want fake Indiana Jones digging up a hand. No.
Fair.
Eric watched Only Murders in the Building and Ahsoka this week. Enjoyed both. I think we're going to get to those in a second.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty much it for newer stuff for newer movies. Just playing more Breath of the Wild, I'm losing my mind. But yeah, so what do you want to talk? I've watched both Only Murders and Ahsoka. You have to remind me about Only Murders though, because I like for once I watched it on the day of
Oh, did you?
instead of leaving it all the way until Sunday where I usually am fresher in mind, which I am with Ahsoka this time. So maybe we can talk about Only Murders and just remind me about what had happened. I
This
can't
is the
remember totally what
episode
happened.
of it's the the one before the finale. So you got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happening. This is the one where they figure. Well, I guess we
Oh,
can talk
really become
spoilers.
the team in this one.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
team is back.
Right.
That's what I was wanting. The trio is back, and
Mhm.
they even make the joke about it. There's a lot of revelations in this episode. The way it's structured was really fun. A lot of great stuff from the three of them.
Mhm.
Plus, we get some more Paul Rudd, which was cool to me.
Mm.
It-
Oh yeah, well, that's interesting because that we were talking about that last week too,
yeah,
about how there wasn't a lot of Paul Rudd, and that wasn't a bad thing. But the way they added him in this episode still was a good thing because he's
hmm
he just was splintered in here and there. How'd you feel about them being like inserting themselves into the scenes,
I like the
like
way
the
they did
three of
that.
them? Yeah.
That was at first I didn't realize that's what they were doing.
Mm.
I don't know why. I guess maybe I was tired or something. I thought that they were there and they were remembering,
Hmm.
but then
Yeah.
no, they're just inserting themselves, and I like that a
Hmm.
lot. It added to it because if it would have just been the scene playing out, I mean that would have been fine too because we get the information. But seeing them
Hmm.
react live to it was
Hmm.
even better. And
Yeah, I
plus,
agree.
I love this cast. I know Grabs feels the same way. I know he also loves the episode, but and I'm going to say something I know he would too. This cast is just perfect. They are
Hmm.
perfect, and it's just so much fun to watch them. And when the three of them together, I don't think the show can get any better. Those are the best parts when they are together.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The best parts, yeah, that it because they and specifically Martin Short and Steve Martin, they work so well together. Like they've worked together their entire
Yes.
lives. Um, you can feel the chemistry,
Mhm.
and that's the whole idea with this cast is the two elder statesmen, and then this young hip different. Selena Gomez.
Mhm.
I agree that I like them inserting themselves into into the past and building the mystery, putting it together as they go. I thought that was I don't know if they've ever done anything like that. I can't remember. Like
Not
obviously
like
in
this.
this season, there's the White Room thing where it's kind of you
This
know,
is different.
I
They
don't know what
they
it is.
didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they did this before.
So I really like that. I like that idea where you go behind the scenes and you see how things are rolling. What else happened in this episode that was interesting?
We get they think they found the killer, which I don't think that's who it is.
No, that's the way this that's the way this show rolls. Is they think they give you the answer, and then by the next week they throw that out
Well,
and give you another reason for somebody else.
yeah, but it would be a cool surprise if they actually do get it right this time.
I wonder if it's the son rather than her.
That is my guess.
Yeah, and I forget who had that. I think we might have been Grabs who had that, or somebody else did. I can't remember when we were talking about it. That would make sense to me, and
More Mabel.
yeah, it would just be a cool idea. I think.
Ian says, as you know, I loved Only Murders last week. This week's again was a bit messed. Stuff just happens. I was hoping the real reveals would be clever, or
Mm-hmm.
like I like the flow of it. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I could see it. It does kind of play maybe by the book, like once they start revealing the pieces one by one, it kind of
Hmm.
falls into place.
Hmm.
But I still think that we're in for something special next week on the finale. Because
Hmm.
again, it'd be a cool surprise if they are actually right. But as we know from the other two seasons, they usually aren't.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it's interesting not even trying to figure out the mystery as you go. You just kind of experience it
You just
as
roll
it
with it.
comes. Yeah, and I like doing that idea specifically when in this show where they're constantly trying to throw you off and
Yeah, they are.
basically saying they do in a couple episodes. This person is arrested for the murder,
Right.
and then in the first goddamn episode, Paul Rudd dies, and then they just bring him back to life. Like they tell you things and then completely disapprove what they just told you. So I like that idea.
Plus the
I
five ladies.
Joe, I love the episode. Yeah.
The five ladies were great.
Yeah.
Grab says the character
Of
moments they
course.
yes. Martin Short screaming that was the best. They're yelling it. The character moments they have, their wit is completely different. Only Oliver can say certain things to anyone and have it be funny. That's smart. I think that's a genius of Martin Short. I love Martin Short anyway, so to have him on a weekly show to me is just fantastic, and he's great as Oliver specifically.
Yep,
But I love
100%.
the whole cast, all three of them. Hey Travis,
Hey, Travis.
I was thinking it was two murders actually. Just realized the Ahsoka and Only Murders Plans. Yes, they are on the same day. So that is going to be quite a day. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to watch Only Murders second, though.
Hmm.
Because I feel like Ahsoka might be more action heavy. So maybe the calm down is Oliver eating dips.
Yeah.
I'm happy with
Was that in this episode where he
Oh, two different murderers.
asked him for the dips? I think.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, when they were standing at beside the whiteboard or whatever. Oh, thank you, Travis.
Did you watch Gen V?
Yes.
Oh, what'd you think about it?
It's outstanding.
Okay.
It's so great. I know you haven't seen The Boys, but this
probably
is
won't.
it's same. It's I don't know what's that line? Oh, it's the same but different.
Yes.
This is really good, and it's quite sad as well. It's about kids who have been given compound V, which is a chemical that makes you a superhero.
So it's like an X gene.
It's about what's that?
Like the X gene?
Sure. Did their parents give it to them when they're kids without them knowing?
No, but I mean, maybe they could, like similar.
So it's about kids who go to a superhero school because their parents, when these kids were young and didn't know any better, were given compound V to turn them into superheroes. And the superpowers that they have are quite a variety of them. The main character's roommate can get really small, but the only way she can get really small is by puking. So she has to make herself puke over and over and over again in a very painful way to do so. There's the main character controls blood, but she didn't know that she could do that until she was about 12 when she got her period and controlled that blood and killed her entire family with it. There's other, so it's about, and like the Boys is about superheroes as celebrities. So these kids are, they're kids. They're in basically a university, a superhero university, and they're all trying. It's all about having the most followers and, the most views and all that kind of bullshit. But it's quite different than The Boys, where they're seemingly adults, but these ones they're kids who don't know any better, and they're only superheroes because they were forced to be superheroes by their parents. So that kind of sadness is quite sad to me, and the powers that they have, some of them aren't great, like the one girl who can only get small by purging herself. But then there's like the subtext of these kids being controlled by the universities and the people who control the superhero, celebrities, all that kind of stuff. So it's an outstanding show. I love The Boys already, but this is something different, and it's quite different, but it's also got a different level of enjoyment for me as well because of I don't know, it is goofy at points, like just as goofy as The Boys can be, but there's something about the serious nature to it because they're kids is a little bit different for me. So I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how many episodes were dropped at once, but there's 3 episodes on Prime right now. I don't know when it came out, so I don't know if it was 2 and then 1 or 1 and then 1 or
I think it
1.
was all three at once.
All 3 at once. But yeah, it's really really good, and I'm glad I watched it. And I kept forgetting there was even coming out. And then all of a sudden, I remember watching the trailer months ago and saying I was really excited, and then it came out and I totally forgotten about it. So I just watched them just recently over the last couple of days. But a great time. I love this universe, and I don't know if this is a comic book like The Boys is. Somebody'd have to let me know about that though.
Zeddy said it's Sky High, but much, much darker.
I haven't seen Sky High, but I think I know
Sky
what
High is amazing. Eric says a school for gifted youngsters, like X-Men. Travis says it would help to watch The Boys, but you don't need to. They do a good job at making it accessible to a new audience, but rewards fans of The Boys. I was curious about that.
Yeah, you could watch it.
Can watch it
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you could watch it for sure.
Okay. Ian says my only worry about this show is that we're getting so many supers now. Was that not the case in The Boys? Like there wasn't a bunch of superpowered people?
No, we didn't know about Compound V until season 3 of The Boys, really.
Okay.
We didn't really see this side of the world, and I wonder if The Boys will fix that eventually. Killing off more, because basically
Like
that's
X-Men.
the idea of The Boys is the main characters hunting down superheroes and killing them. But yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting thought, Ian, that just if the world's just overrun with them. Yeah, I wonder.
It is based on a mini run of the main comic, but based on would be stretching it a lot.
Great. Thanks, Travis.
Okay, so there is a basis for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's
it's got nobody that it's got nobody that I know in it either, and that was kind of the same with The Boys as well. Like Jack Quaid's in it and Carl Urban, but the rest in, I guess the later seasons have Giancarlo Esposito, but it's not in Gen V specifically. I don't know anybody that's in it. Actually, the only person I know is a dad of somebody from that dance movie with Julia Stiles. It's that dance movie with Julia Stiles, the R&B one.
I think I like that movie.
Yeah. I can't remember what that one's called.
That one? I have to look. I think I like that movie.
Shit. Yeah. The
I remember the guy in it too.
Not the one with Channing Tatum. Yeah, he's the black guy, and he's much older now. And I can't remember that.
It wasn't called Step. Save the Last Dance. That's what it was.
Save the Last Dance. What's the one with Step? What's that one called?
Step Up. That is the Channing Tatum dance.
That's the Channing Tatum one.
With his then wife Jenna Dewan.
That's right.
Clancy Brown is in it, and Gen B.
You want a spoiler alert, Chris? You want a spoiler alert?
I might watch it. I don't know. He also said something else that caught my eye about Ant-Woman. I'm just curious what that is.
Okay. Yeah. I won't give you a spoiler then. That's fine.
Okay. Travis said, could people appear in an episode of season 3 of The Boys, but only for a couple of minutes?
Good people. What people?
Maybe people from Gen V. Is that a spoiler?
Oh, sure they should. Sure they could.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah. Good people.
I'm curious. I might watch it. It sounds interesting. And
I think you should.
I think because Sky High, it sounds like Sky High and X-Men to me, and that's kind of my thing.
That's right. Just very much darker, Chris.
I like that.
Dark humor and dark themes, dark drama, blood, action.
I like dark stuff.
You do like dark stuff, you sicko.
I like Rumpus Room.
Yeah, Rumpus Room. All right, so let's finish it off here. Talk about Ahsoka, episode 6, 5,
7,
6, 7.
I don't know what it is. I like it.
Yeah, it's already freaking insane with Only Murders. It's already the end of the season, like only one more episode, and we got the finale. So, what do you think about the latest episode of Ahsoka? Where a little bit of action, some other stuff. What do you think, Chris?
I've been on a real high with this show, and I'm still on a high. I really just every episode just adds on to it for me. I thought it was great. Oh, it's 7. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ian.
I really enjoyed this episode a lot, as I have with the other ones. I think this one, I like seeing Ezra in action here, because now I get more of a sense of who the character is, which we didn't have previously. He was just Space Jesus.
Yeah.
Now we see what he can do, and it's really cool, because I don't think we've seen a Jedi like that who doesn't need a lightsaber. He just kind of goes.
That was an interesting thing for sure. Yeah. What did he say? He didn't need a blaster. He didn't need a lightsaber. He said the Force will provide, or
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that was
Some kind
interesting.
of religious type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool. I like seeing that. I like the action. I liked the kind of just seeing everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the way Thrawn is such a calculating figure behind the scenes.
Mm.
Like, I don't get the sense we're going to see him kind of end up with anybody. Like, hand
Yeah, I don't really expect him to use a gun in any way either, or
right.
like pick up a weapon at all.
He seems very much like the guy who's just going to command someone to do it and let them die while he escapes,
Yeah.
which I'm cool with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wonder, though, how are they going to end this? Because it seems like there's a lot going on, and there's only, in true traditional Disney Plus fashion, most finale episodes tend to run short for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to smash everything in one. Mm-hmm. So I am concerned that the finale is going to do that, but I'm still excited.
Yeah, I wonder. I was wondering that today too when we find out what Thrawn's plan was while all the action was happening. Like he said, he's not worried or whatever because he's loading up and they're leaving or whatever. I'm like, what are we going to be left with by the end of the season that's going to make it worthwhile? Like, I don't think they're going to stop Thrawn in one episode.
No, I think it's gonna be a massive cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's the cliffhanger? They all get left behind on this planet. I don't know what they're building towards. Is more or less what I'm getting at.
My hope is that they're not building toward a movie to finish the show.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Are they just going to end this season, and the next time we see? I think we talked about this last episode, where they're ending the season. The next time we see these characters, they're just going to be in the movie that Filoni's doing with all of the Disney Plus characters in a movie.
Which is fine, but I would hate it if this series ends in a way that you have to watch a movie to finish this story. Because I think every episode, whether it's the pacing has been slower or faster, has moved the story along enough. Right. And now we're at a point where the story is here. We are at the fever point. So either they stop Thrawn in one episode, or they don't, and they stop Balin, or something needs to happen towards the complete ending. Because if it's not, I do think that'll leave a sour taste. Yeah, Ian says Balin's such an interesting character. The loss of Ray Stevenson really sucks. I agree. Ray Stevenson was I wouldn't say he was like front and center for a lot of stuff, but whenever he was there, he was always a great actor, giving a good supporting performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Balin to be my favorite part of the show. That's for sure. I knew that I did like this when I saw he and Shin in the trailers. I think, oh, that's kind of cool. They got different kind of lightsabers. Wonder what they're up to. But like in Shin, I don't even want to talk about her anymore. She's just annoying the hell out of me.
Really?
Yeah, but Balin. No, I started to like her, but then I don't know what she's doing in this episode. It doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about too much of the bad stuff. But Balin is so good. I wonder. And Ian said, like, what is he looking? I don't know what he's looking for. He's not really looking for anything in this episode. He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything.
On his horse dog or whatever, and then fights Ahsoka, and then she runs away, and then he's left to do what? Watch her run away.
He's observing.
He's very observant, that's for sure.
He's learning.
So I don't really know what he's up to, which is fine, but I still like the character, that's for sure. The other thing I did like about the episode is another quick scene with Hayden Christensen's Anakin, where she's training and he's recorded these training videos for her or whatever because of she's off doing her own thing and he was off doing his own thing during the Clone Wars. So I did like to see more of that. I like that whole kind of scene where she's not really acknowledging what he's saying, even though she's probably absorbing it, but she just kind of likes hearing his voice again. That's the way I like to think about it. She just misses Anakin. I think she says that later on in the episode, or to some point. I forget who she says it to. But yeah, she just misses her friend. She misses Anakin. So I like that idea.
I just like seeing Hayden Christensen back as Anakin. I wouldn't say he's my favorite Star Wars character, but he might actually be. And I know that's might be strange to say considering his performances in the movies weren't the best. But
Mm-hmm.
I just love Anakin Skywalker, even as Vader. Like I see it as a complete package. Anakin is
Yeah.
Anakin, and he's Darth Vader, of course. So
Yeah, and I like that. I actually like him a little bit better in this than, or not a little bit. I like him better in this than in Obi-Wan
well, he's
as
not a
Vader.
villain here.
Yeah, exactly, and I like that
He's
idea.
likable.
Hmm.
I like him either way, though. I think he's awesome.
Hmm.
It's also I know I haven't seen the show, but I appreciate that they put him in the Clone Wars outfit. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
his
pretty
hair's
neat.
yeah, his hair's short like it is from what I've seen in the
Yeah, he looks the
videos
way
from that kind of stuff. Yeah.
he says feel like a setup for something much bigger. Depends whether Thrawn makes it back and what Balin finds. Eric's comment also Chopper definitely dropped an F bomb in droid speak. I think so too. Zeddy says my main critique is I haven't felt Thrawn as a big bad yet. He's felt
Hmm.
more like a cool name drop. A lot of people have said that, and I understand. I can agree with it, but I think he's doing okay so far.
That's more or less my thought as well, Zadia. Like I don't know what the big reveal is here. When it was revealed that he came out, walking through all the stormtroopers, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like he hasn't done anything. Like he's commanded some people to do some things. He's talked to that guy who looks like he's from the Eyes Wide Shut orgy scene, the stormtrooper guy, and told him to do some things. But like he hasn't. Like, and that's the thing about him not picking up a blaster or holding a lightsaber or anything. Like he hasn't been shown for me, who knows nothing about the character, that he's menacing or evil. And I guess we know he is because he's
The
told
red
people to do
eyes.
bad things.
The red eyes mean
But
evil.
yeah, that's right. The
No
bad
one with
haircut.
red eyes are nice.
Yeah, the guy with the bad haircut means evil.
Ian says I guess he's looking for something Zephyr related or access to World Between Worlds, so he can travel through time to change the past. That could
You,
be it.
you said that, Ian, but have we been shown any of that? Have we been told any of that? Like I think you mentioned before, Ian, that the hieroglyphics or something on a wall or something that looked like something, but have we been told any of that stuff? And I don't. And for me, I don't know if that would. I don't know if that'd do it for me or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping they stick the landing on
Hmm.
Wednesday or Tuesday maybe. Graf says
Hey,
Thrawn's a military genius. That's what he is. Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it. He's not supposed to be assertive, like he's not going to get on the battlefield. He's going to sit with his hands behind his back and basically order stuff.
fair enough.
He's what the Empire needs now. A blue man group. Evil blue man group. They only play for Jabba.
That's right. Lazy.
You got to go to Jabba's palace to see them.
Nobody's playing for me.
The tickets have been sold out for galaxy years.
Galaxy years.
Yes, that's a new term of time I've created.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Galaxy. It's a long time.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't have high expectations for it because my expectations have kind of gone down a bit as the show has gone on, but still interested to see how it ends. Hopefully, we get some cool moments. Hopefully, some good Balin moments. And I wonder how they're going to roll because I wonder if the plan was all along for Balin to die. If he doesn't die, that means they probably had plans for him later on. And I wonder what they do now with Stevenson being gone.
He says in Rebels we've seen this happen. Ezra and Ahsoka travel through time, and Balin has a rebel name list on his watch. Okay, so they might be doing the Rebels thing then.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Tuesday or Wednesday-ish.
Yeah, whenever people get to it.
Right. This week. I'm sure the Disney account will spoil it either way for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say they'll post a picture of Luke Skywalker and Leia and Han Solo.
Probably but like both Han Solos.
Yeah, that's right.
And for whatever reason, it's just the young Billy D. Williams. Just the young Lando. We don't get the older Lando. Just to really throw people off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Throw what's her name on there? I forgot her name of the show, but the Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke. Throw her on the poster too.
Oh yeah, it's her. What's her name?
I would say it was like Scarlet or something, but I know it's not.
Yeah, something with an S. Sierra or Scara, Shara, something. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. I'm gonna have a Star Wars name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's Ahsoka. Chris, anything else you wanted to talk about? before we get out of here?
No, I watched Phantom of the Opera, the original. It's a silent film. It's fun. Theater Camp was a lot
Is
of
it?
fun.
It's a silent film, really?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
it's really old. It's almost 100 years old. It's 98 years old. It's a
Interesting.
silent film. It's very it's fun to watch because how to describe it, but the expressions and the movements of everybody in it are very exaggerated because they had to convey the emotion without speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is really animated. And for a horror movie, it's just kind of fun to watch.
Interesting.
Also, the Phantom has a comb over, which I think is hilarious.
Gotta love that.
Mm-hmm.
Practical.
Beware the comb over. But that's fun. It's on, where did we watch it on? Crackle, I think. So it had commercials, but it was a good time.
Crackle.
Yeah.
Wow. Deep cut.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you can buy it on Blu-ray, I think now, but it was hard to find before, especially because most of it got destroyed. Like the original print was gone for a while.
Oh yeah.
So this is what's left. It's pretty good. I watched that Theater Camp, which is a lot of fun. It's funny. It's kind of like Heavyweights with the theater kids.
I love Heavyweights.
Right. It's like Heavyweights with theater kids, and that's really it. Also, Castlevania Nocturne. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't really care for anime. It's just not my thing. But check it out. It's pretty awesome.
Very cool.
It says no need for the comb under for those the brows are thick, but yes. I think that the brows are okay.
Nice. All right, Chris, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at thatchris70. And as always, I'd love it if you guys would follow this show at G of the Geeks. You could also follow the show I do with my buddies Philip Walsh and Anthony Caruso at DC Unlimited Pod on Twitter. Emmet is much better with the rest of the plugs, so he will take over.
You can follow me on Twitter at EmmettDavis7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Gathering of the Geeks, and you'll find us there. I want to say thanks to Grabs, Andrew, Eric, Ian, Zeddy, Phil, Travis. I think that's everybody. Zeddy, thanks so much for watching us on this fine Sunday evening, gents. We didn't mention this, Chris. We haven't mentioned this the last couple times. We're coming close to our 75th episode. Chris is going to have to do his calculations and get his calculator out and spots of the all that kind of stuff to figure out when it actually is, but it's not too long away. So we're going to have something set up for that. So look for that in the next couple of Sundays. In saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
Have a great week, everybody.